Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first show of Live in the Hive. You are live in my back garden, in our garden bar, the Hive. It's really nice to have you join us. And for the next 30 minutes, we have got a wonderful entertainment show for you with some very special guests. More about that a little bit later on. Now, because it is the first show, we may have some technical difficulties with the streaming. So do forgive that if that happens. Please try and stay with us. And if all else fails, we'll record it and you can watch it a little bit later on so you won't miss out. But what we do need is we want you in this show. So please tonight send in your comments if you've got any questions for our guests that are live in the Hive, or you just want to say good luck or tell us what you're drinking, because at the moment I'm drinking wine. We've got our guests joining us and they're going to be telling us about their favourite tipple a little bit later, so you can join in with the conversation. So keep those comments coming throughout the show. All right, well, I'm not just joined with my special guest this evening. Oh no, I have my mini me's, which are Daisy and Harry, and they're going to be joining us throughout the show. Daisy and Harry, we've got the Daisy and Harry cam. How are you guys?
We're great, thank you. Just sitting back and enjoying the show. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Now, Daisy, you're going to be doing a special feature tonight on the show. Tell everybody about what you're going to be doing.
Well, I'm going to be telling you all my facts of the week.
Oh, I'm very excited. And Harry, can you tell us who our special guests are this evening?
The two special guests are
Kelly Bookbinder.
Kelly Bookbinder and Katy Lipson.
Wow! Well, we will join you later, guys. For now, we're going to leave you, but we'll see you later on. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, they're sweethearts. You wouldn't believe that they're little devils when the camera's not on them. You might have heard some clapping in the background. We have got a live studio audience. Unfortunately, you can't see them there. Quaffing drinks on the sofa. Say hello, guys. So later on, we're going to show you a little bit of behind the scenes on our socials, so you will see exactly how this show is made. Now, I did say we've got special guests, and the lovely Harry did the job there of saying who they are. Our first guest this evening is an amazing theatre producer, an award-winning theatre producer who's been nominated not once, not twice, but 3 times in the Stage 100 for theatre producers, I believe. I'm sure she'll tell me more about that later. And also in a solo capacity in 2021. She never stops. She is joining us live from London. How dare she not be here in Manchester with us? But I'm going to introduce you to the fantastic Katy Lipson. Welcome to the show, Katy.
Hello, thanks for having me on this first show. I'm really, really pleased to be here.
Now, I've got to ask you first and foremost, have you got a tipple in your hand, Katy Lipson?
Not this minute, but I have to say I did just come from a lunch when I didn't expect it, but it was a wine lunch, so I've had my amount for the day, I think.
Well, okay, that's allowed, and maybe you'll have a little tipple later. What is your favourite tipple to drink, by the way, Katy?
Sauvignon Blanc, or a cocktail like I don't know, any sour, amaretto sour, something like that. I love it.
Oh, good choice, good choice. I'm a bit of a Chardonnay girl myself, not a Sauvignon Blanc, but, you know, any wine's good. So cheers to that one. So we've got you on this evening, Katy, to tell us about a few of the productions that you're doing. But for the people at home, I just thought we'd kind of tell them a little bit about your career and how you got started. I mentioned there that you are a theatre producer. Tell us what a theatre producer actually does, because some people won't know that. A lot of people don't know the behind the scenes going on of shows.
So we're ultimately kind of like a project manager of a piece of live entertainment. So for me, it starts with finding a show, finding a theatre, choosing a creative team from a director to a musical director to a designer to a lighting designer. Most importantly, coming up with the money, finding the money from investors, raising the money, coming up with the business model, and then overseeing everything from the marketing to the casting to the production, and making sure everything comes in on budget, on time, and hopefully returns that money to the investors with a profit, and it's like creating a business every time. It's not just one show, it's 100 shows in your career, and it's 100 investment models and 100 businesses. But the more you do it, the more hopefully it becomes easier, and the more people sort of open opportunities for you.
And is that something that you always wanted to do from an early age? Because I know you started off not as a performer, but with a real interest in classical music, didn't you, Katy?
Yeah, so I've always loved theatre, always loved music, and my love of classical music brought me to musical theatre. And as a young person, what do? You sing in the school play, you're in the shows, you're in the amateur dramatic groups, you then join an orchestra, and I loved it all, but I wasn't sure I wanted to make it my life, and I wasn't really sure what a producer did. So after a few years of being in London, I did a few things. Started a degree in genetics, then did a year at a drama school just for a 1 year sort of degree to see how it, not a foundation, like a postgrad course to see how it felt, and then a classical music degree. And so that took me kind of up to nearly my mid-20s. I was doing all these different things, and then worked really as a actor, a musical director, a vocal coach, a repertoire coach. I sang in hotels. I did everything. So I had a lot of creative experience, and that's how I sort of paid my bills from doing all, the music meant I could play the piano, which meant that I could teach singing, which meant that I could earn better money per hour because it's a specialist skill. And my obsession with musicals meant that performers came to me to learn repertoire. They needed to say, what's the next new musical? I need a song to audition for Mountview. And for many years, I paid my way working at the Brit School. It's a wonderful school. A lot of famous pop stars went there, like Amy Winehouse and Leona Lewis. And I taught voice, and I taught, them how to maybe get into Arts Ed or Mountview or any of those schools. And it took me a long time to give that up because I needed to build a business that could pay me a salary. And when I wasn't earning money as a producer, which, for a long time I wasn't, even in the early days of producing in Manchester, I wasn't earning enough money. I was doing this still. That allowed me the freedom to become sort of a full-time commercial producer.
Gosh, I mean, people don't realize how much the struggle is. I think they just think of the successful producers, but don't realize that they have to do all of that graft, as you say, to get to where they are. I was going to say, though, when you're putting your shows on now, because I know you've done Yank, the revival of Hair, the Addams Family, obviously with that background of the teaching, the performing, the singing, do you ever get like I do? Because I used to act. Do you ever get that moment where you want to jump up on the stage? Because I've been to the Royal Exchange and had to sit on my hands and just think, oh, do you know what? I could just jump up.
I don't have that. I really have found my place. This is where I'm meant to be. And I feel I'm a producer, and that's inside me. Sometimes I sit at the piano here and sing, and I think, oh, I really do love that. Oh, I really miss playing for a singer. And actually a couple of times at the Hope Mill, I had, like, when we were doing Rags, our leading lady was really ill for the dress run, and I sung the whole show from my seat because I loved that particular show. And obviously I did sing in some of the galas, but I'm most comfortable when I'm at the piano, and that's a different feeling because you're playing for yourself, and I just don't have that want to be on a stage. Like, I really admire actors, but I have that. I prefer the pressure of being a producer to the pressure of being on a stage. So I think that just means I've chosen the right path.
Oh, absolutely. Now, getting back to the shows, obviously I mentioned a few of them there. What I like about you, Katy, is you don't go for the obvious shows. You do like to bring revivals back. You revived Pippin with Hope Mill. Is that something that you want to continue to do, and also kind of give the chance to new work?
Always. When I started producing in 2012 with Aria, I wanted to do unique products, and I had such a love of musicals that I had a massive, catalogue or portfolio of awareness of shows, because if you don't know what you want to produce, you're not a producer. You have to find work. You can see all the revivals on the wall here and new writing, but even when choosing those revivals, it had to be something that was a premiere, a world premiere, a European premiere, a northern premiere. Every one of those titles, from Hooray to Pippin to Spring Awakening to Rags to Yank to Maine. They were all rare, and I thought that would make more of an impact. And even in London, all the shows I've done, they are sort of haven't been seen for a long time. It's how I made, I guess, a point about Aria. It's how I sort of established myself as a producer, and it's how people think of us as a company. And the future is all about new writing. We've taken a year, we've looked at what we're doing, we've thought about the future, and we've been raising money and finding artists to commission. And we have several shows we're developing, completely original musicals, some based on a book, some based on a movie, and hopefully a very exciting future for some of these shows.
Oh, that does make me very excited. I love musical theatre. I love theatre completely. And the fact that, we're getting these exciting productions is amazing. You keep doing it, Katy. It brings me on, though, to, I suppose, the next question about the shows that you've got on at the moment, because you're not just happy with one show, are you? You've got two running at the same time. You've got one here in Manchester, which is Contact, and you've got one in London called Cruise. Both of them you're getting some great reviews from those. How does that make you feel as a producer? Is it still kind of that proud moment?
Well, Cruise particularly is a life-changing moment. It's my West End debut. I mean, I've done the Arts Theatre and a couple of West End concerts, but to do a world premiere long run in what we call a salt house, which means it's really, really the West End, and it's very, very humbling, and it's been received so well. We've run for 4 weeks. We've got great reviews. It's got great word of mouth. It's close to selling out, and there's lots of talk about the show's future, both in the UK and hopefully abroad. So to find something during lockdown that is so powerful, and this performer Jack Holden, who wrote it and stars in it, with John Elliott, who does the music and the live DJ, it's quite this is a life-changing moment. So I'm trying to really enjoy this, and I don't want it to be over. I wish we could probably stay longer, but we've got The Play That Goes Wrong coming in to reopen after the pandemic, so we have to leave. But ultimately, that's exciting, and obviously we're bringing the last 5 years, what we did on the Fringe, to the West End as well in September. Yeah. And Contact, I mean, gosh, to do something so innovative during the height of the last we just opened up in the summer, didn't we, around the country? Mm-hmm. We've been locked down, and we had the show in August, and it was outdoors, and it used an app, and it was incredibly unique, a promenade outdoor experience with a 3D soundscape through the streets of London, and now in the streets of Manchester and Salford with the Lowry and Media City. It's that was so thrilling after doing nothing for how long, 6 months, and then to actually bring a show that was COVID safe and that was innovative and get a great response from the reviewers and the audiences. You just feel proud, and I can't sit back and do nothing. So I sit there and go, well, what can I do? We've done streamed productions, we've filmed productions, we've sold some productions to subscription platforms that are like Netflix, but for musicals and plays, and we've done Contact, and just need to work, just need to be creative all the time. That's how I feel.
Well, Contact itself, as you said, is like a COVID-safe production. It is outside. It's very different. It's immersive, isn't it? It's a promenade production where you put your earphones in, so you're hearing the track and the inner thoughts of the leading lady. It's a two-handed production. And what I love about Contact is you are kind of feeling like you are in their world. I think it's the closest you can ever get to action. You never get that close on a stage, do you, Katy?
No, you're right in front of them. You're outdoors, you're in the elements. People are watching you, like you're part of the action. And not only do you hear their inner thoughts, it's 3D. So it's going from left to right. And when there's birds, you're like looking. And when it rains, you're like, is it really raining? And it's a very unique thing. And actually, whilst it might feel avant-garde, it's incredibly traditional. The arc that you go on with this girl and her story, and then when the other character joins, and then when you really hear what they're talking about, what they're feeling, it's very relevant. All about contact and lack of contact, gosh.
Well, as you can see, it's on screen now, Katie. We're going to take a quick look at it. This is
I've
Contact,
never
everyone.
seen anything like that. So yeah, it's brilliant. Loved it.
It was really moving, really refreshing to experience outdoors and wandering around an environment that I'm really familiar with, but in a completely different context.
I didn't know what to expect, but it was absolutely incredible. I loved the sound.
The way the audio sort of plays with space and direction, it's really effective.
It's a different sort of experience, a different type of theatre show, something new and exciting, and you feel really engulfed in the story.
You're not going to see anything else like it, and if you get a night like tonight with the sun setting over the Imperial War Museum as the final scene, it was beautiful.
Refuel your body, we've missed out on so much. It's brilliant to be back.
I've loved it, and I loved sharing and knowing. Look with someone I've never seen. It was brilliant. Loved it.
Wow, that is really, really exciting. And, those people just talking about it in that way, amazing. We saw you can still book tickets. It's on until the 27th of June, isn't it? And it's right on the Manchester doorstep in Media City. So that's a great production to see, especially for those who have been missing theatre for so long. Like you say, the theatre industry has really been hit hard, hasn't it, in the past 18 months?
Oh gosh, completely. And things are opening now and everyone's gearing up to the June opening at full capacity, but we still don't know. But we carry on. For me, we're working towards, we finish Cruise, finish Contact. Then we have the last 5 years. And we also have the Addams Family national tour launching in August. And we come to the Lowry, I think, in September as well. That's a massive show, and that cannot run with social distancing because it's just too expensive. So whilst I understand working on economic models with smaller spaces and smaller socially distant theatres, it's very difficult to make large shows work. So we're hoping that will happen, and then hopefully we'll announce some more shows and talk about them in the future with you about for 2022.
Wow, brilliant. Well, I'm going to hand over to the Harry and Daisy camp because I do believe that my daughter Daisy has some questions for you. So, Daisy, you've got a question for Katie, haven't you?
Yes, in fact, I've got two, Mum. I've got my first one, which is, what has been your favourite show that you have produced, Katie?
That's such a hard question. That's like asking someone to choose between their children. There's a couple of special shows. There is one called The Return of the Soldier, which is a new musical, and not only do I adore it as a piece, it's set in the war and it's a love story, but I was so proud because it was a completely original musical that we took from page to stage, and it just moved me. It really meant something to me. And Rags is such a personal show to me as someone that's Jewish and someone that was obsessed with the show when I was about your age, and then to have and actually work with Stephen Schwartz, the writer of Wicked and all those films. Like, he wrote the lyrics to loads of Disney films, to work with him like closely and to bring the show to the stage, and for him to say, now it's done, this is the version that's going to be the legacy, this is going to live on now, this is your version. That's you can't ever, nothing can match that. That's kind of, special. So I would say those two.
That's crazy.
Did you see Daisy's face with Wicked? You love Wicked, don't you, Daisy?
Yeah, it's my favourite musical theatre show, which brings me on to my next question, which is, what is your favourite musical theatre show?
Ooh, well, I do love all the shows I produce, otherwise I wouldn't do them. But, again, I can't really pinpoint one, so I'm going to probably give you three. Les Mis. Probably something like Beauty and the Beast, because I think that was one of the first shows I saw in the West End and just kind of captured my heart, and think it's the best Disney film ever. And I love this kind of more new contemporary musical called The Light in the Piazza, which is like quite unknown, but the music sounds like classical music, and it's very romantic, and it's just gorgeous. So yeah, again, I'm sorry I can't give you one answer, because every time it's something different depending on my mood. But you can't fault Les Mis. It's kind of like everybody knows it, and it's so good, and it's so well known. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Daisy. She's definitely a wannabe performer, Katy. I think she'll be knocking on your door in years to come. I am going to say goodbye to you for this evening, though, but please do come on the show again. I'd love to hear about some of your new work. If anybody is interested, though, in Manchester in going to see the show, I know it's on at Media City, isn't it, until the 27th of June. It is fantastic. It is taking, you know, a theatre show to a different level, an immersive level. And if anybody is watching this that is, you know, down south in London, they can still see Cruise until when?
13th of June.
Brilliant. Okay, plenty of time then to still go and see that show. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Katy. Goodbye.
Cheers.
Oh, that was a lovely Katy Lipson. She is one amazing producer, and definitely somebody that is going to be giving Andrew Lloyd Webber and Cameron McIntosh a run for their money in the future. And you saw her first on Live in the Hive. Now back to the Harry and Daisy cam. How are you guys?
We're doing great. We're enjoying the show so far. We're loving it, actually.
Okay, now Daisy, I believe you've got some special messages today for people. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I'm going to be giving you some special shout outs. So the first shout out is happy birthday to Emma Caradus. And the second shout out is happy 19th wedding anniversary to the Henfield. So there you go. There's your shout outs.
Can I just say, I think you and Harry are stealing the show, because all the comments coming in this evening seem to be about you. Claire Matthews, hello there. She says, fantastic link, Daisy. Michelle Wood, now she is saying, hi guys, loving the show, good luck. Dan Westwood, hi, is saying great chat. And we've got a lovely comment coming in all the way from Texas. We've got Mandy saying it's great to see theatre coming back. A great insight into the role of a theatre producer. Thanks. So thank you guys. Please keep those comments coming in. But you know what? We've got a very special guest now. And she's live in the Hive. I'm going to say goodbye for a moment, but I know that Harry has got a question for her coming right up. So we'll be back very soon, Harry, to see you, okay? So, without further ado, I'm going to move my camera over and reveal our guest in the Hive who's been patiently waiting. Oh, you're going to have to move in.
Oh, I know, I'm here.
Hello. It's the wonderful Tally Bookbinder. Oh, do you know what, Tally? It's so good to have you.
Oh, it's lovely to be here on the first show. Thank you for having me.
Are you enjoying it?
It's fabulous. I love it. It's good. It's fabulous.
Oh, well, you know, move a little bit closer to me.
I need one of these in my garden.
See you. Can I just say though, right? Look at our glasses.
Yes.
Right. Who hosts the show?
well,
I get the small glass. Tally gets the large glass of rosé.
Of course.
It's just a good job that I think that she's absolutely fantastic. Now, Tally, I couldn't start off this without getting my son involved, because my son has a bit of a soft spot for you, Tally.
I do love Harry.
Yeah. So Harry has got his first question to ask you. So I'm going to start off with Harry's question. Harry, what have you got to ask Tally?
What do you do?
What do I do?
Yes.
I make people look beautiful, and I do hair and makeup, and I like creating. I like being creative. I like having fun with people. I like giving people confidence in front of the camera.
He likes being creative too.
I know you do. I've seen your drawings, Harry.
Kind of make books. Yeah, I do.
You've also got another question for Tally before we let you go, haven't you, Harry?
Give Mummy some tips to do makeup.
I've got to be honest, Harry. I don't think Mummy needs any. Because she does a
She does.
fantastic job herself. I'm not going to lie.
She does. She really does.
Right, okay, bye-bye, guys. I'll see you later. That's my children out of the mouths of
The
babes.
babes.
Absolutely. No, thank you. I don't need it. Do you know
I
what?
don't.
One person said to me years ago and said, after the age of 30, I'm a little bit older than 30 now, said after the age of 30, you can't wear sparkly eyeshadow. Is that true?
It depends where you put it. So if you're going to go all over the lid, you're going for a very 70s kind of ABBA look. No, not good when you're over 30. But if you just put it on the flat of your lid on your eye, you can certainly pull it off. It depends where you're actually putting it.
All right, because I like a bit of sparkle.
Yeah, of course, everyone do. Got to have a bit of sparkle.
No, you can't put an age on it.
No, 100%.
Anyway, thank you. We've cleared that up. To introduce you to our audience this evening, you are an award-winning makeup artist. You have been in the industry for over 20 years. You have made up the likes of Take That. I'm going to get to that later. You're currently working with the wonderful Gok One, and you've worked on loads of shows like, you know, CBeebies productions like Midsummer Night's Dream. Did you always want to be a makeup artist then?
Always from being a little girl. I had the most amazing muse in my sister, my baby sister. And I spent days, hours after school. I just literally made her up. Every time my mum came home from work, she was dressed up as either Adam and the Ants or Boy George, bless her little soul. And she was amazing. And she just sat and she let me paint her. So I just had the best start because I had a little model that I could just be creative on, and I got away with murder. So it was great.
So it's all down to your sister.
It's all down to my sister, Dad. Yeah.
But you really did make a mark in the industry, didn't you? And I think that kind of came as you'd qualified, you went up to makeup school, didn't you, and trained.
Yeah.
But then you got your break, really, I would say, with the Take That boys, because you were doing Top of the Pops, weren't you, makeup?
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? It was being in the right place at the right time. I was very lucky. I was represented by Nigel Martin-Smith, who represented them.
Yeah.
And they were after someone new to go touring with them. And they actually had a makeup artist, but they were after someone new. And it was dead lucky. It was a trial I did. It was only a trial. I didn't automatically get the job. And the trial was to go to the San Remo Music Festival in Italy, which was a bit special.
That is quite special.
It was a bit special. When you know, when you're in the middle of it, you don't really appreciate it. But then when you look back on it, you think, wow, that was actually quite amazing. And
that's some trial.
So that was my trial. And that was a case of, let's see how you get on and we'll call you.
And they called you?
Yeah, it was great. And then I was with them for 2 years and I didn't do any other work.
Gosh, so was that the 1994 period? Was that
was
Back for Good?
Yes, that was exactly Back for Good. That was the early 90s to the day they split up, to the actual day they split up. So it was the Robbie days.
Oh my goodness. And you know, that whole period was so iconic, and the music videos. Did you work on the Back for Good video? I did the Back for Good video.
I remember turning up on the Back for Good video with a pair of cream suede boots because I didn't read the call sheet properly and didn't realise that there was going to be water and rain for 2 days. I ended up literally with like bronchial pneumonia, but pulled it off. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I literally had, because I wanted to dress up and look the part. And
those boots would have been ruined, yeah?
The boots were ruined. I didn't care about the boots. I walked around with wet feet for 2 days, but I was on the Take That video. It was very exciting.
It's amazingly exciting.
Yeah.
Back for Good.
And it was all these massive, big umbrella-style shower curtains, which just saturated all of us for 2 full days to give that effect.
How do you keep how do you do makeup when you've got all the rain coming down? I mean, I know it's different because you haven't got girls with mascara on and all that.
Yeah,
but
you're just running in and running out every 2 minutes. It was a real test of my. Yeah, it was. You're running in, you're running out, you're running in, you're running out, and you're just keeping a check on them. But the thing is, the boys actually had umbrellas over them. There was water everywhere, but the boys had umbrellas over them, so they actually stayed relatively dry. But it was freezing.
Really?
It was freezing.
Oh my god! The things that you do,
we
just
do
through the
that,
Take That boys.
We do that.
I'm a huge Take That fan.
I heard.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
heard you have a Take That story.
I do have a Take That story. It might not be told tonight.
Okay.
Might be
Should we
told
save it?
after the show.
Okay.
After the show. And maybe in future episodes of
Okay,
Live
I
in the
think we should
Hive.
keep that.
But what were they like?
They were an absolute joy to be around. We had so much fun. We literally ate our way around Europe, and because the thing is, they work so hard. Like, I don't think people actually realise, literally from 6 o'clock in the morning, from your call times, from your interviews, from your live performances, from the pre-recorded stuff, they work. So the joy was sitting down at the end of the day in whatever country you were with the favourite dish, and that was such a treat. You know, being somewhere exciting and tasting it was a real privilege tasting the local cuisine, and it was very special.
Yeah. And how did you cope with kind of all the entourage of fans? I mean, it was like the Beatles when at the time. It was manic. And did they kind of look at you as a woman following them around? Did you kind of get the fans going?
Well,
look at her.
Well, they used to turn up at the airport and ask me. I was asked if there was any sponges or any cotton wool that I've used left over, if I could keep them. And at breakfast, they used to wait and say if there was any crusts and things. I mean, mental.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, that's a bit of a nightmare.
Really obsessive.
Did you keep any of them and
Never.
put them on eBay?
No, I never. Gonna say, never did. Never kept a sponge. Never kept a dirty tissue. No, there's an absolute place for that. But these girls I could not believe it. I remember sat in my bedroom window in somewhere like Vienna and peeking out the window, and there was a sea of girls on the ground floor, and we were about 10 floors up, and they stayed there for days.
Wow.
And as a young girl myself, I thought I couldn't get my head around it. But then every single European city we went to, the same girls followed them with the mums. So the mums would turn up in reception with the fans.
Wow.
And they were.
That's insane.
It really was.
It is insane. It was a completely, it
was a phenomenon, wasn't it?
It was. It really, really was. And then, of course, they split. Nobody thought they'd be back. But that also lent an opportunity to you, because I heard that Mark and Gary Barlow were fighting over you to be their makeup artist when they got solo.
No, do you know what? Both boys said they were going to do a solo career, and it was a case of who is available, who is free.
Yeah.
And I did actually say to Gary, yeah, I love Mark. I loved all the boys, but I think the pull for me.
We know. There you are.
That picture. Yeah, that was in. When was that? That was on his Forever Love tour. We actually went to LA and shot some video and some footage, and it was actually very, very special. But I think the fact that he wanted to start his tour in LA was quite a bit of a pull. It would have been rude to say no, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I'd have chose Gary, hands down.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite member of
Do you know
Take That?
what? I haven't. I think it's like saying choose your favourite child.
I bet she has.
I promise. I absolutely love them all. They were all we were all very close. I love the banter between them. It was dead special, very, very unique. And I love being a part, sitting on the outside, looking in. And it was quite something else. It was very special. So, no, I don't. It would be unfair for me to choose a favourite. I can't choose it.
I'll let you off. Now, obviously, you know, there's so many things. You could be here for the whole night, and we could have a gossip. So you must.
I might be when I finish this.
No, it's fine. I'm going to overrun because we've gone past 7:30.
Right. Okay.
It's 7:30, and hopefully you guys are still with us. So I'm going to say to you, I'm going to ask you a question.
Go on. It depends what it is.
Gary or Gok? You're working with Gok One at the moment.
I mean,
No.
Gary or Gok?
Gary or Gok?
I mean, I love Gok. I do love Gok. I mean, I love Gary, but Gok has got a real special place in my heart. He is a genuinely beautiful soul. And Gary is as well. But I'm a different stage in my life. And there's different... Gok's been amazing to me through different stages. and things that have happened, and you get to know about each other's lives. And he's been really quite, I mean, he's got me through this pandemic.
Yeah.
And he knows the family, and
he's fun, isn't he?
And he's fun. I've taken my mum down to see him in Panto, and we FaceTime my mum all the time, and he's divine. Yeah, he's divine. I adore him.
Now I'm going to ask, you know, because obviously people at home might go, well, she's working with Gork, is she doing it on This Morning because he's on This Morning? But it's actually this programme.
So it's Say Yes to the Dress. Say Yes to the Dress Lancs. We're on series 3.
And what's that like?
It's dead special. Do you know what? It's filmed in the most beautiful boutique, Ava Rose Hamilton in Colne. And they're a lovely little family. The dresses are exquisite, and the people you get on the show it's not scripted. People say, is it scripted? Which is really weird. It's the first time God would have met the bride when she walks into the boutique in the morning. He's never met her. He's never met her entourage. He just is told a little bit about her. It's totally genuine. She walks in feeling, I'm never going to find a dress. I don't like myself. This life-changing thing has happened to me. There's always a backstory. And she walks out with her dress, feeling amazing, feeling like she's just been given the biggest boost of confidence. And he has done that to her. So it's a special thing to work on from the whole emotional side. I have probably spent 80% of my time working on that show sobbing, happy tears, happy tears. But I would say it's so spiritually uplifting. I know that sounds dead corny, but I can't explain it another way. And if you watch the show, you know, I think that comes across.
I have watched the show.
Yeah.
It is my guilty pleasure. I
gorgeous,
just like it because you've got the beautiful dresses. You've got these amazing stories of women that have come in and from all different backgrounds as well. And, you know, as a woman, that dress is really special, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, to have Gok as well help you with it. But not only that, these girls, you know, they come in, they might have had major health issues, they've been poorly, they've lost someone, they've got problems with the family, and he makes them forget that. He puts them first and makes them feel that they are the most special person in the world, which they are on that day. And when they have so many other issues and so many other things really kind of suffocating that thought process, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I can't explain. I mean, I've left emotionally a wreck. I walk home and my husband's like, go on, what was the story today? I sometimes can't even explain. It's like you have to be there. And it is gorgeous, and then you get a gorgeous message in your inbox saying thank you for making me feel so special, and they've ended up booking me for the wedding,
because that's what you do as well. You do
so I do weddings, which is, so when I got the gig, it was like, because privately I do weddings, it was like, this is amazing.
We've got a shot actually of, is this one of your weddings, Tally?
Oh, that was a gorgeous wedding. She's actually since had a baby, bless her. So this was the bridesmaids. I mean, when you see a picture like that, so much job satisfaction in real life, you know, real life weddings, and it's beautiful, isn't it?
And you know, that must be hard as a makeup artist, right? Because having been there and done it myself, it's, you know, you're so full of emotion on the day as a bride. You're there not only to make them look fabulous, but I suppose to calm them down.
You've got to keep them calm, and there's all kinds of issues that happens. And I have got a rule on my weddings: the bride is not allowed to wear a watch. We do not discuss the time.
Okay.
And I very subtly, when I normally have my hands, maybe I'm doing the hair, I just glance at my watch and I realise the time, and then I speed things along or I slow things down, because I think I want the bride to really enjoy that morning.
Yeah.
It's a section of her day before she goes out that she's dreamed about and anticipated, and she hasn't slept because she's been thinking. So I want her to be so chilled and remember that time with the girls getting ready. I want her to remember it as being just so special and spectacular. Yeah, if I can keep her calm, that is definitely my job, because actually ultimately the calmer my bride, the better job I can do for her.
Yeah, absolutely. But how special to have you doing the makeup when you've done so many of these celebrities. I'm going to show this picture, and I absolutely adore it, because I remember when this happened.
Oh, I love that.
Right, this is the whole strong women of Coronation Street.
Yes.
And you were involved in this shoot, which was iconic. It was to celebrate, wasn't it, the show?
It was to celebrate the show. It was that Hollywood style. It was all those gorgeous, strong women. The thing is, I've grown up with Coronation Street. My mum, bless her, is obsessed. She actually records. She actually has it. Yeah, she watches it and watches it.
I love it.
So these ladies here, I have known them from when they first came. I mean, Tina O'Brien, when she first came in as a little girl, I started doing the makeup on TV Times or Woman's Own. And so to then go through the years, like 25 years later, being able to be a part of this, it was very, very special.
Oh my God, and it is such an iconic picture. Now we're getting loads of questions in for you. We've got one from Dan that says, who's the nicest person you've worked with? Is it any of these ladies,
Dan,
or would it be?
I can't single anyone out.
Oh, come on, Tally.
No, I can't. Honestly, do you know what? Because everyone is special in their own right. It's so hard. I can't.
They're putting you on the spot.
Is that bad?
Do you know what? No, because it is. Everyone's different for a reason. Is there anybody, though, that you would like to make up if you could choose? Is there anybody out there that you go, oh, I've not had that opportunity yet, but I would love to get my hands on their face?
Like someone iconic who I look up to, who I follow, who I love the music or I watch acting. That has always been so exciting for me. So when I've been able to meet someone, like a fabulous British actress, and I've got her in my head.
I know who it is because I have heard you talk about this lovely lady. She was in Abigail's Party. Alison Steadman.
Alison Steadman. So I grew up with Alison Steadman because she was very iconic. In fact, I have to give a shout out. Alan Waterman, it's his birthday today. We were at college together. He's actually Joan Collins' makeup artist.
I know
Happy
Alan
birthday,
is.
Alan. So you know Alan, don't you? Because you interviewed.
And he was watching the teaser before.
Yeah.
So if you're watching Alan, have an absolutely fantastic birthday. But tell us a bit about how Alan's connected to Alison. Is it?
Yeah. So Alex. So So. There's a classic line in Abigail's Party,
yes,
which is when she's teaching someone to put on lipstick. She says, I've got very beautiful lips.
Beautiful.
So
lips.
that is mine and Alan's strapline when we are doing makeup. And then Alan actually he's done a couple of things with her, but the biggest thing was he did Fat Friends with her.
Oh gosh,
and that was a fantastic, iconic show. And then I ended up working with her on Countdown. Do you know what I did though?
What did you do?
I actually said to her, you've got great.
No, you didn't. Oh my! Do you know what? That is fantastic.
I've never been so mortified. You know when you say something,
no.
You want the I actually told Alan, I said, you're not going to believe what I said. I'm sure many people have said worse. But you know, when you're thinking, why did I say that?
No, but you see, it's the moment because I've got to tell you, and it sounds like I'm name dropping here. I once interviewed Lionel Richie, right? I interviewed him twice, once in person, and the second time was on the phone because he was in Egypt doing a concert. And I just wanted to answer that phone and go, hello. Is it me you're looking? And I didn't.
Did
but
you not?
I wish I had.
So clever. I wish
I had.
I actually wish you would have done.
He said I was a real darling, which bless him.
But he might not have said that had you have sang to him. So
no.
Yeah.
Well, let's move swiftly on from beautiful lips.
Yeah.
Beautiful lips. So in terms of all the stuff that you've done, and there is so much, what might be next for you? What kind of thing?
Gosh. I think the pandemic has been really strange because television has been so busy.
Yeah.
There's been some amazing things. Things have been put on the back burner and then things have been sped up. Right, we need to film this. We need to get it in the bag. I mean, we're actually halfway through series 3 of Say Yes to the Dress. We've still got more to do, but there's no brides at the moment around to film their weddings, and we've got to wait for that. So I'd love to have a date to continue for it because I love that's my happy place.
Yeah.
The crew, the team, the environment, it just makes me smile when I walk out. I feel, you can walk in feeling and you walk out feeling amazing. It's beautiful. So that would be gorgeous. But you know what? I love, and again, it probably sounds corny, but after I've been working 30 years, I love working with a fabulous team, doing something that we all get so much pleasure from and so much enjoyment, and I actually don't care what that is.
No, when you love your job.
I love my job, whether I'm shooting. I mean, I did a TV commercial in a dog rescue centre. I'm a big dog fan, I have 3. Did a TV commercial in a dog rescue centre for dog food. I was working with dogs. I wasn't making them up, obviously.
I was about to say that. How did you do that?
With the trainers and the girls who were looking after them. But you know what? I got as much pleasure from that as I have on a big celebrity shoot.
Yeah.
So I really think it depends what's close to your heart, what means the most to you, and we're just working with genuinely gorgeous people.
Oh, do you know what? That's a great sentiment. Do you know what? I've got some messages coming in, and they're all loving you. I think is that your sister?
That's my sister.
Your sister saying, Tally, I have to say you've got very beautiful lips.
Thank you,
very
Dahlia.
beautiful lips. Okay. And Lisa is saying, looking good, Tally.
Thank you. Now Lisa is my best friend. Lisa and I we met on modelling. She was a model. She was actually a hand model. You know, you used to get. I mean, now
I could never do a hand model.
No, I mean neither. She has beautiful hands. So I met 1980 something. I took her back to mine when she lost her nail. We put a nail on, and that was the start of our friendship.
Our beautiful friendship, putting a nail on.
And that's been an amazing thing about this career. I've met some fantastic people who have stayed with me for life. And that's been quite precious.
And that is great, isn't it? That really is. But then that's a mark of you as a person and getting that connection. So
yeah, I've been very blessed with that, you know, friendships. You know, it's been amazing. Yeah.
And I'd say, like I said, you have won awards for your makeup on CBB, the BAFTA award.
Yeah, there's been so the CBBS wanted to introduce Shakespeare to children, which was very special. We did Midsummer Night's Dream, and we did The Tempest. So that was very, and I did all the designing for that. I had an amazing team, but I designed for that. But also, what was very close to my heart, I did The Diary of Anne Frank, which was a newsround special, which was quite something else. It was really moving, and obviously being Jewish myself, watching that, watching the whole story with actors, but living that out, that was amazing, and that won an award. So I've been really lucky. It's been really special. Yeah,
we need to have you back. We're running out of time now.
I'd love to.
I'll go for on the show. But you know, it's totally worth it, because I honestly. We'll talk later in the Hive, and we'll have some more.
We will.
Cheers to you, lady.
Cheers. Thank you.
Oh, do you know what? How wonderful is our Tally? Now, you can follow Tally on Instagram and find out more about Tally and some of the amazing things that she is up to. We've got to finish off this evening, though, with the very patient Harry and Daisy. Now, what did you think of Tally, guys?
We thought she was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about you, Harry? Did you think she had some great things to say?
Well, yeah, she had lots of great things to say.
Good. Now, I think it's time for your, what is it, fact of the week, Daisy?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to tell you now. My fact of the week this week is that a man named Budmir Sobat broke a Guinness World Record by holding his breath voluntarily for 24 minutes and 37.36 seconds. Budmir attempted this to promote the city of Sisak in Croatia after its earthquake, and he beat the record by 34 seconds. And that's my facts of the week. Come back for more.
Well, we will be back for more, Daisy. Thank you very much for your facts of the week. That was amazing. Have you had a really good show, guys?
It's been amazing. We want to come back. Let us come back.
Well, I think I might have you back next week if you're up for it. Are you up for it?
Yes.
All right, well, say bye for now to everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, we will be back next week. Thank you so much. Like I say, it was the first show, so we wanted to kind of overrun and just kind of go with the flow. So I hope you stayed with us until the end. We are back next week. We are live in the Hive. Until then, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Live in the Hive 21. And don't forget as well, Facebook at Live in the Hive. So please give us a follow and please share the word. You know, we want lots of people to listen to this show, and any feedback would be greatly appreciated. So please keep those comments coming in, share, like, do everything you can, and join us next week, because next week we have got a very special lady who is live in the Hive. She's called Heather Glover, and her other half have done the Scarlet, and it's some new lingerie. So we've got lingerie live in the Hive, and we'll also be joined by a very special guest that is coming in from, I'm not going to tell you, I'm just going to make you watch. All right, thank you so much. We will see you next week. For now, it's bye from me, live in the Hive.